we are now ready to go. We are celebrating the launch of Season 9 of the Foyne Jones Show. And this season, we're building success. And that's going to paint the picture of what it's going to be all about. We are going to be doing more studio episodes, more episodes remotely in different locations. We're going to be taking the show into the industry and bringing the industry into this studio, where we're going to talk about building, celebrating and developing success. To do that, we need to have the team behind the podcast. So we're going to talk about the team. We'll talk about who's involved, and we'll talk about our special guest who's in the studio as well. Let's start Season 9 by saying hello. Charlie Hooler, you've travelled the world.
Hello, mate. I've done a lap and I've come back again, yes.
Yeah, there you go, mate. They should write a little book about Charlie. here today, gone tomorrow, back again. How's life been treating you, Hooler?
Very good, mate. It's been very good to me. I've seen a lot of new places, met a lot of new people, and it's all been very good.
Good man, good man, good man, good man. Shall we talk about Arsenal Football Club?
Do we have to?
I mean, second again, Champions League semi-finalist. It's not been the worst season, mate, has it?
No, look, hopefully we'll get second. We've got to make sure we do a good job at the weekend with Newcastle. But a lot of our Arsenal fans some Arsenal fans can be quite moany-groany about the situation. I remember the bad days, mate, so I'm still very happy with where we are. It's a shame we couldn't manage to push to the final of the Champions League or even maybe even get the trophy, but I still think it's a good season.
The bad days at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
You got a Derby County fan and two Fulham fans in this studio, and you're talking about the bad days at Arsenal. Oh, them terrible days when we were at Highbury with George Graham winning the league. Do you know what I mean? 1-0 to the Arsenal. They were tough days, weren't they? They were tough days. Charlie, I love you. It's great to have you back, mate. All right, you looking forward to this season?
Yes, mate. I'm absolutely chuffed. It's great to be back.
It's great to be back, and I'm delighted to announce as well that once again, for the Season 9, the entire series of Season 9, we're going to be sponsored by David Blitz and the fantastic team of E.T. Clay. And together, we're going to be building success. So thank you so much, David. Let's get this show on the road. To my left, we have a new member of the team. Hello, Charlotte.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Are you a little bit nervous?
A little bit.
A little bit nervous. So they talk about surrounding yourself with talented people, don't they? And if you surround yourself with talented people, you go far, and you go far if you go together. Charlotte, what do you do? Why are you here?
Well, I'm the content creator at Foyne Jones. And
what a role.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I help you out with your social media, filming videos, and I'm at the podcast right now helping you out.
Yeah, and we're even acquiring new clients for you in the pre-show meetings. That's how we roll, Charlotte.
Lovely.
So Charlie's thrown a bit of football banter in. I think you've got to share this with all our listeners and connections, Charlotte. What team do you follow?
Fulham.
I say no more. There you go. It's not a prerequisite to get in the studio, but it doesn't half help. Who's your favourite player?
At the moment, Calvin Bassey.
Oh, Shirley. What a player.
Yeah, I love him.
What a player. Shirley to his friends, that is, Luke. Yeah, Shirley to his friends. All-time player? Favourite?
Well, I'm only young, but I really loved João Palhinha. I think he was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Great play.
Yeah,
I've just got two words, Ryan Sessegnon.
Yeah, fair enough.
And four more words, one of our own. But there we go. So our season's gone a bit pear-shaped, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it's disappointing, but that's what Fulham do. So I'm not
Fulhamish.
surprised. It's Fulhamish, yeah, it is.
It's Fulhamish, and when we were 8th in the league, looking forward to beating Crystal Palace in the quarter-final of the FA Cup and getting to Wembley, all the magic was there. And since then, we've just crashed and burned. But being a Fulham fan is an example of resilience, and we are building on success because, do you know what? I would have took mid-table in August. We're not facing relegation. We're going to go again in the Premier League, and we got to the quarter-final of the Cup. It's just been a shame recently that we just seem to be turning winning positions into embarrassing defeats, but that's part of the Fulham journey, isn't it, Charlotte?
Yeah, it is.
All right. And have you been enjoying? I mean, it's a loaded question, isn't it? I'm in charge. But what have you learned from your time at Foyne Jones so far?
I've learnt to problem solve. I've learnt to be more independent, meet new people, be social, be confident. Just a lot of things, really.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
and get
amazing.
paid well in the process.
Yeah, I do.
Love it.
Yeah, see that always. I'm told, like, to build success for members of your team, paying them well is a great starting point. Treating them well, having fun. They're also key. Yeah. They're also key factors that contribute to success. So look, he's been desperate to get involved. Look, he can't wait to get involved. So coming in, we've got, and he's a veteran of the Foyne Jones show, but he recorded remotely last time. Yeah. Better already, isn't it?
Christ, this is fantastic compared to
and
no
for everyone
comparison.
watching the video, he's got new merch. Yeah, he's branded himself.
Been dropped off new merch last night.
He's repping. He's branded himself up.
Tried on.
Yeah,
bang on fit. So that'll be one going forward.
So, Luke, when we last spoke, you were working as a director for a business, and you're now running your own business. And we are in the show going to explore that journey. Mm-hmm. You got Hugo Roy on your chest. You're having fun since you've made a brave, bold, courageous, and dare I say, crazy decision.
Yeah, you could describe it as all of them things. But look, am I having fun? Absolutely. The whole point of this that we'll dive into is about making a big difference to the industry that we absolutely love. And if you're going to do this, then having fun and connecting with people has got to be one of the core reasons, right?
Excellent, mate. And for those of you who don't know, Luke is based in the East Midlands. He travelled down yesterday. We spent yesterday evening together, didn't we, mate? In Brighton Marina, looking at the boats and the sky and the sun. We got so on the balcony in a hotel in the bar there. We got so relaxed that we forgot to have something to eat. We only just made it, didn't we?
Yeah, we scraped into Nando's with about 10 minutes to go.
Mate, we made it in. They said you got half hour to get this done. I said that's fine. That's fine. We'll be all right. We'll be in and out. But look, thank you so much for travelling down.
Thank you for having me.
In the episode, we're going to dive that little bit deeper, and we're going to talk about the thought process behind what you're doing now and how that happened. We'll get to know you again, your family, your passions when you're not working, and then we'll talk about what we're working to how we're working together. We'll get your view on it, my view on it. We will dive a little bit deeper into the services you're offering the industry, who the ideal client, what that ideal client profile is for you, and what value there is you're offering them to help them build their own success, and how to get in touch with you as well, because I think it's important that we get as much of what you're doing into the episode as well. So that's what to expect on this season of the Foyne Jones Show. We want more of you in this studio. We want more of you getting involved. And thanks again to ET Clay Products and David Blitz for being the sponsor. Let's get into the show. Everyone ready?
Ready.
Baby.
All right, okay. So, Mr. Brittle, it's all about you today. All about you.
Lovely.
I want to go back to our last episode, and you were talking passionately about the industry, you were talking passionately about your role, and then fast forward to where we are now, and just talk me through, if you can, and share with us the challenges and changes you've made to your personal life, your professional life, and explain what you're doing right now, mate. Show is yours.
Okay, so for the listeners that don't know this, in my background of working for FTSE 100 companies in lots of different roles. My most recent role was after the redundancy process at the FTSE 100 business, was joining a independent locally to where I live. It just gone through new ownership, and the business has existed for that moment as I joined. It just hit the 50 years, bang on of its existence, but needed a full rebuild, and I was quite excited to do that. So throughout my time, since being 17, 18, working for builders, merchants through and through, from independents to your nationals, I spent my kind of last just over 2 years working for the independent, and I've had so much fun connecting with the local builders in the area, people further afield, connecting with old friends that just wanted DIY projects, and actually build something that's got a really nice feeling to it. And I was really excited to work with the business, with the owner, of making something special. And then the little bit of look around that is it's called Home and Trade, right? So it's designed there for everybody, and secondly, it's got that real homely feel to it, which is really important. So I've had 2 years there building the business up from where it was left, right up to, in my opinion, leaving now where it's in a really good place, and still keep in touch with everybody there as well. And then now it kind of got to a decision in my mind to say, out of all the experiences that I've had in merchanting, where you can see that there's lots of room for growth, there's lots of gaps, and there's lots of people in the industry that need support and guidance. And I found myself, Peter, going through where a lot of my time was spent around coaching people, developing people, which is a real drive of mine, but actually that's how we're getting the best out of the business. In my opinion, spending time with customers is absolutely key. Putting them first is absolutely key. But making sure that your team have got the tools and the resource and that we actually work with them really closely, that was the main part of it. So everybody became a leader in the business. So walking away, doing that crazy, as you said, that crazy move was something that I'd thought about for quite a while. It just,
just cutting in there. I think from the outside looking in, people will go, "Wow," because you've come away you've turned a negative situation of redundancy, built upon that, and moved into a fantastic business and made that business successful. But I guess what I'm so curious about is understanding. What was it, a eureka moment? What were the triggers? Why you're sitting here now as the founder of Hugo Roy Consultancy? Because that's the big thing for me, which I would love to share. Because I genuinely believe there'll be people like you watching this, and they don't want to do this. But you come down to that age-old adage of stick or twist. Mm-hmm. Do I stick? Do I twist? I guess 95% of people stick, don't they?
They do, yeah.
But you twisted. So talk me through that moment, Luke.
So the thought had been in my mind for quite a while, and explained that to the business when I decided to exit. The decision came from experience of finding or realising gaps from businesses that I've worked in. Going, if I had the opportunity, I'd love to do X, Y, and Z to improve. And I guess the thought turned into a little bit of a eureka moment where I sat down with my wife, with family, and discussed what I was doing. Reached out to people that I knew in the industry and also people that I didn't, and kind of bounced my ideas from. Said, what do you see in this? As a lot of people got excited about it. So I decided to move on this because the industry has a lot of times where you see lots of merchants that are closing or are struggling, or they recruit and then that person moves on after a year or two because they've not been developed in. So I hope to bring to the industry a lot of passion, a lot of drive, a lot of coaching, a lot of support, looking at them gaps. And that was the reason for launching this, to make a real difference to the industry. And when times have been tough, there's always something that you can do, and hopefully that is reaching out to me to support the customers and the clients in improving their business.
Fantastic, mate. Thank you. How's the family?
Very good, thank you.
Want to say hello to the kids?
Yeah. Hello to Louise, my wife, Hope, my nearly 10-year-old daughter, and Jaden, who is 8 as well. And they're all very good. Enjoying school.
Big listeners to the podcast, I understand.
Massive listeners. They absolutely loved it last time when
Daddy was on.
And
hubby was on.
Yeah, my 8-year-old went round school saying I was famous. So nice little touch.
I think you, Charlotte, don't you?
Yeah.
Charlie's straight in. Do you know what I mean? Like Charlotte's going to get us big across the Sussex University campus.
I can see that.
I mean? So we're gonna go. But do you know what? It's the human element which I think reaches so many people, because actually, with a young family, with the children and with the responsibilities of that, you've walked away from a really high profile position.
Yeah.
And you've gone out and you're looking to build something for yourself, and that immediately caught my attention. And we were talking about the different services and where they would fit, and we spoke a lot about our industry. But if we dive that little bit deeper into that, you're talking about, in no particular order, builders merchants, companies that supply builders merchants.
Absolutely.
How big do you see that industry where you can add value?
Massive. It's untenable how many times I can help the businesses thrive. We have a lot of manufacturers have challenges where their stock goes into merchants and doesn't get moved. They want to understand what the market looks like now, what it might look like in 3 years' time, and great ways to sell into merchants and how to sell their product, what does it get sold at, and get a real understanding of what's actually happening through the merchants and through to the end user. And bearing in mind that my experience in builders and reaching out to them is also something that I expect to look right through the pipeline to help it right from the minute that it lands in the builder's merchant yard to how it sells to the end user, and understand the communication gaps. And then likewise with the merchants as well, is when product lands, being able to look at merchants and let them understand what the best way is to go around their customer base, how they can grow their business, what they could do to improve. So it's such a journey between the manufacturers, distributors, merchants, of what they can do. And I guess one of my main questions that I asked this to a recent client is, if you couldn't get any more customers, you could only keep the ones that you've got, would you work harder to keep the ones that you've got? And the answer is yes. So how do you keep the base that you've got, and then how do you grow from that? There's a lot to be said around that.
Great point. I share something like that with my team, and I want us to treat every project and every business we're working on like they are going to write us the best recommendation and testimonial of all time. So they should be treated like absolute royalty, because if the experience feels good and the relationship's good, everything else comes with it.
100%.
So in the second half of the podcast, Luke, we'll dive a little bit deeper into that, and we will talk about why we're working together. We'll bullet point and break through the services that you're offering, who you're offering it to, and what's in it for them, and why you're the right person to go to. But just to wrap up this first half of the show, we got an Arsenal fan. We got two Fulham fans, because we are, we're the oldest team in London, right? Okay. See, exactly. It's good having Charlotte beside me. I can see her hosting this show, Charlotte. It's going to be easy. It's going to be the Fulham podcast hosted by Charlotte. Anyway, look, what team do you follow? We alluded to it earlier.
You might not have heard of us, but we're the Rams, the mighty Derby County.
Yeah, I've seen Fulham lose at the baseball ground and Pride Park, mate, so I know who you are. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. I've been a Derby fan all my life, through my dad. We live probably 10-15 minutes from Derby City Centre and the ground. So growing up, season ticket, been through all the highs, all the lows, certainly all the highs and lows of the last 8 or 9 years. And what I will say is, when you're sitting there saying you're frustrated about not making the FA Cup, I'm absolutely thrilled that we managed to make our place next season in the Championship.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, mate. Good for you. So, Derby. Let's look at that. I think for me, if I think about some of the memories I've got, there was an ill-fated game in the 80s where the Derby fans invaded the pitch and they stopped. Paul Parker talks about it when he's on my podcast, and he was the sub that day, and he said it would never be allowed, mate. It would never be allowed. That game would have to be called off or replayed, but they just blew the whistle early and gave the game to Derby. And on that day, if Fulham had won it, we would have been automatically promoted to Division 1. We didn't, and we got relegated the next year, and it took us got a lifetime to get back up. So I've got memories of Derby. I've got memories of the team. But who's the player that stands out for you as someone really special that you've cheered on from the terraces, or is just taking your breath away?
You're going back to the Jim Smith era for me. So it was growing up. We had season tickets. Went with my dad and some other friends, and the players that stick in my mind particularly are probably Stefano Aranio and Francesco Baiano, two players that respectively just lit the pitch up, and could make a real difference. However, when you talk about a special moment in time, that Paolo Wanchope once ran from the halfway line took on about 6 Man United players and slotted it past
He's
Peter
one of the famous
Schmeichel.
players that could be part of a barbecue, isn't he? One chop. No one gets Mark Fish, do they? Do you know what I mean? That's the
Don't get
one.
Mark
No one
Fish.
gets Mark Fish, mate, do they? But there you go. Patrick Berger's an easy one. You know what I mean? But anyway, look, listen. So Derby County till you die. Do you know what I mean? They're in your heart. You take your family there. You go with your family. You go there, and it's great to get people in the industry talking about their passions and talking about a team which are not one of the trendy teams. No offence, Mr. Hula. You know, some of the and there's so many stories about it. You got quite an involvement with a local team as well, Burton Albion, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So. So the old business, we decided to team up with Burton Albion and sponsor them, which was absolutely fantastic. So that meant to be able that we could get customers to the game and get really involved in the community as well, and that was really important for the business to be involved in the community. And then that kind of, for me, spanned on to the fact that that I run a small football team as well in Stretton Eagles, where I live.
He is the special one.
Locally, the special one. I've been called that a few times.
Charlie was going to say something.
No,
there.
I want to know. So, Luke, do you still play, mate?
I do. Actually, tomorrow, and probably a shout out actually to Joe Evans, a friend of mine who was.
He's going to ask you to play his five-side section. He's coming. He's always out the players. Charlie.
I want to know what position you take. Is it 11s you play, or like?
No,
what
so
do you pitch yourself
I'm
as?
far too old and chubby to play 11s now. And however, I was just about to say that Joe, a friend of mine, has started a business where it's called All About Football. So it means that if you are old and a bit chubby, if you are not good enough to make a natural 11-a-side team, if you are 60 years old and you still want to have a kickabout, that everybody's welcome. So he runs that event 3-4 times a week. So on a Wednesday I play locally, and it's 8-a-side, and it's 4 teams in like a mini tournament, which is great. And so I play at least once a week with that, which is fantastic. I have to be careful of the old left knee because it's packing up. But then, like tomorrow, I'm actually playing at Rotherham Football Stadium, which is an hour and 15 from my house. And it's through the All About Football. You just enter, you pay £40 for the experience, you're in teams, and it's like a business tournament. So
go on, mate. It's
good to keep active, isn't it? And get involved. So positioning wise, I think when I was younger, I started out as a striker. As I got a bit older, I got to play midfield because I'd try and head everything that I could. Then for a season or two, probably mid to late 20s, I played left back for a couple of seasons, but me and pace do not go hand in hand. And now I'm probably finishing my time in football throughout the next 2 or 3 years, and now play up front. And my job is just to keep banging the ball in the back of the net, which
get the ball,
boot
it in between the posts. There you go.
Yeah, so I'm a bit of a. You'll put me wherever you need me, really, and I'll just try and do a job.
He's a utility man.
Utility
there
man,
you go.
I like that, yeah.
I reckon you two could be a bit of a dream striker partnership,
I don't know, mate. I see myself as a 50-year-old playmaker coming into the team, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because, I in between last series and this series, I did turn 50. So, maybe there's room. But Charlotte plays as well, don't you, Charlotte? Don't think you're getting away with it.
Yeah, I play for my university. So I just play against other universities. It's really fun. I've met a lot of friends from it, and it's
So is that
good.
like a league? Is that like a league format?
Yeah. So it's called Bucks. So it's like all of the universities and different regions have different leagues. We came second this year. Hopefully, we're going to get promoted because it's only one. The first team can only get promoted. So hopefully next year we can get promoted.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
We'll cheer you on, Charlotte.
Yeah.
We're there.
I'm trying to guess your position,
watch.
actually.
Yes.
Centre back.
Centre back. I wouldn't have said that, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I
said striker.
like tackling.
Get stuck in.
Yeah. It's fun. I really
fast.
enjoy it. Yeah, it's good.
Brilliant.
Made some good friends.
Kicks things and heads things. Sound by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Kick things and heads things. All right. Okay. So listen, that brings us to half time. In the opening episode of Season 9 of the Foyne Jones Show. We're building success, and after the break, we're going to talk about what Luke Brittle can bring to your business to help you build success. Thank you so much. We go again after half time.
When it comes to bricks, there's only one company to speak with. ET Clay have something for every brick project. With over 400 products across our 2 depots, we are the builder's merchant brick merchant.
Okay, half-time team talks have done. There's been hairdryer treatment on one side. There's been arms around the shoulder on the other side. You can guess who's what manager. Gaffers are gaffers. But this half, to bring everything into where it should be, we're going to talk to Luke and we're going to dive deeper into the Hugo Roy consultancy. And we're going to learn about the services you're offering and why we're working together. So, Luke, over to you. Let's talk Hugo Roy. Let's talk the services you're doing to help our listeners build success.
Okay, so when I decided to launch Hugo Roy Consultancy, it was very much around supporting businesses as we've already touched on, such as builders, merchants, such as the manufacturers, people selling into the merchants, and to be able to help with them gaps. So partly why we've teamed up, which we'll touch on, is a little bit around the world of recruiting. And what's really important to me, which we've spoken about, is the reason that I wanted to do some recruiting was very much around going, okay, if we're recruiting for a branch manager, for a sales assistant, for a representative, we've got some real life experience in that, haven't we, in them roles? And I found that really, really important, that we can actually really understand what the business wants by really doing the job ourselves.
It fascinated me last night, Luke. You was actually interested in my merchant career.
Yeah.
You know, you actually really took me back to day one all the way to sales director. And I was like, I guess I do understand it from the inside out and the outside in. But that's important. So tell us what you're offering, Luke. Come on.
So we also talked about recruit and rise. So one of my offerings is not only do we recruit and us as a team, Foyne Jones, so they recruit somebody. It might be a case that business needs somebody that does mentor and coaching. And that recruit and rise is an opportunity for us to recruit that person and really help get the best out of them, really support them through a journey, and help them become somebody in the business where they might be really bright. A little bit how you talk about Charlotte very often, and
only when she's in the room.
When she's in the room,
yeah.
And that's something.
I'll talk about you too, Charlie. He went head down then. He went head down.
Sorry, Charlie, you've been mentioned as well. By the way, you have. So yeah, there's the recruit and rise element, which is around spending some time, over the phone, face to face, being that real support for that person in that role to be able to help them progress in that business or be the absolute best that they can be. I think that's really important. We also look at the typical mentoring and coaching, because it's no secret, and I hear this a lot, that all merchants struggle for time and for effort. And instead of employing me full time to do that, we have an offering where I can be that mentor, be that coach, look at where they're at, look at where they'd like to go and what the business ultimately would like them to do. And my job is to mentor and coach that. And that's something that I've done within businesses over 100 times. Now, it's really important for me that we grab hold of the industry and we really entice people to come and let them know that they can be nurtured and looked after. And I find that really, really important.
Well done.
We have mystery shopping. So one thing we saw at my old business, actually got a mystery shopper in. So it was really important to say, okay, I think we're at a certain level here and the business is growing rapidly. Now, let's do a little bit of a sense check. So we got a mystery shopper in. They came in and did the full shebang, understanding around the yard, the trade counter, how we sell, do we chase our quotes, and talk to the KBB team as well. And when I got that report back, it was quite alarming, because I would have said at that moment we were probably 70% of the way in our customer service. That pulled back in moments of time. Actually, we were probably performing at 40%. So
that's quite sobering, mate, isn't it?
Really sobering.
Yeah.
Really sobering.
I've been doing something very similar, talking about treating people how you want to be treated yourself, and we've actually been reaching out to candidates that are registering with us. We're reaching out to our partners after the projects and getting their feedback on how they've had, as much as whether it's been successful or not. It's about how the experience has made them feel. Did they enjoy it? What did they enjoy? What would they change? And it's very. When you look at it from a job seeker's perspective, I've been made redundant. I need a new position. Please help me. They have different expectations to someone we're working with who perhaps didn't know they were after a new job, and it's more of a headhunting piece, and all of those services are part of the recruitment offer, but it's aligning expectations. And I found in my business that when people are saying they're unhappy with X, or my industry even, unhappy with this in recruitment, unhappy with that in the hiring process, it's because expectations haven't been managed.
Yes.
You know, if someone on that side of the interview says, I'm going to give you feedback in 2 days, and you don't do it for a week, you ain't managing expectations. If you said you're going to do it for a week and you give the feedback in 4 days, you've exceeded expectations.
Absolutely.
And there's so many in that. So you saw that with your own business, and you thought, this is powerful. We can take it to others.
Absolutely. It's a massive... The biggest thing with lots of things that I offer is there's a return on investment. So when you have these things, it pulls out the gaps, and then my job is help to highlight that and then potentially fill them gaps up. Because whenever you think you're at utopia, there's a possibility that you're not, or you might find there's opportunity to grow even further. So there's a return on investment with lots of these, and the mystery shopper is absolutely one that I'd encourage many merchants to grab hold of and really understand, to make sure that you are in the place that you believe you are, or help you get to a place that you'd like to be. That's really important.
It's affordable as well, isn't it?
Really affordable, and quite easily that return on investment can be back within a week.
I'm excited about bringing that and some of the other services you offer into the Foyne Jones empire as such, because we will have existing clients, existing partners, existing businesses we're collaborating that will benefit through many of these services. And I guess that's the why we're working together. I think for me, you know, the other parts of the why are, I trust you as a human being, I like you as a human being, and I think because of your approach and your personality and where you're based in the UK, there's such a chemistry there which we can go out and not just exploit but really dominate the market, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing, Luke. And I think you see it the same, don't you?
100%. We care about people. And for the viewers that don't realise this, is that when I was made redundant way back when, and you, Peter, was one of the people that offered that opportunity to link in around CV, have a conversation, etc. And that was a free service because you wanted to help. So as we've grown our relationship to be able to go out there and offer merchants and manufacturers the opportunity to recruit in the right way, to be able to mentor and coach their staff, to be able to help. You know, one thing we've discussed around the sales, one thing we want to do with the Hugo Roy is be able to have them sales training and coaching days to let the people coming through understand really what is sales, what is margin, and to be able to sell the basket of goods. So really exciting for what we can do, how we can collaborate, what the reason we're partnering up.
We've had some good feedback on it, the collaboration as well, haven't we?
We have.
So it's for those that don't know, I'm going to be supporting Hugo Roy as an advisor. I'm going to be involved in the delivery of some of the training, particularly the sales, particularly the development of the brand, and talking about how passionate I am, which I'm excited about. I think that's going to be quite phenomenal once we start rocking and rolling that out, because when we really offer that, it's going to work. And the initial feedback you've had has been really positive, hasn't it?
It's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing, the amount of people that have said this could really benefit our business. So we've got a couple of manufacturers, merchants that we're already working with or talking to, that when they sit down and have a conversation with us and understand what we can offer, that they're saying, I'd like some of that. That could really help my business for a little bit of cost. There's a massive value there.
I'm looking forward to supporting you and watching Hugo Roy grow, and in return getting you involved in all the Foyne Jones projects that we can, because I think you go quicker if you go together, and that's really what I'm big on. So we spoke about it briefly before the break, but what type of businesses would you love to get in touch with? Who do you really want to talk to? Who's on the radar? So
the market for me, and the way I feel that I can add real value to businesses, is by reaching out to your independent merchants. We're reaching out to the merchants that are in the buying group. Maybe you're not in a buying group and need to build that business up. So really, I'm looking for that world of independent merchants to help grow grow them in whatever form that looks like. Secondly, when you're talking to the suppliers, to the merchants, and the way that they want to learn of how to sell, maybe they need some mentoring and coaching. And of course, you've got the fantastic, you do a lot of work with them in the recruitment world, the KBB industry, where there's a lot that they can do around their offering, etc. And I'd love to exploit that with them. So really looking forward to getting in touch with them clients and moving forward.
Good for you, mate. So, for anyone who wants to get in touch with Luke, we're going to share your contact details. We'll share all the details about Hugo Roy, and we will be encouraging conversations, because I think once you look at the different array of services, from mentoring to training to recruitment and people development, everything we're doing together and what you're doing individually is going to help businesses build success, and that's what we want this podcast to be about. So thank you so much for coming on, Luke. What's next for you, mate? What's next? What you looking to achieve in the coming sort of couple of months to kick things off? Because it's still very early.
Very early.
Moment, but it's starting to happen for you, isn't it?
It is. So really, look, it's about letting people know who I am, what I'm about, getting to know my personality, and building. For me, it's about building real partnerships, friendships, and growing on that. The whole industry should be built on trust, and it's all about the people. So over the next couple of months, for me, it's about reaching out to clients, having great conversations, and looking at just elevating this and getting it moving. And what would be really great then is to show people the examples and the wins that we have together.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you so much, Luke. Charlie.
Pete.
You planning to stay in the UK, or you going somewhere else, mate?
Yes,
Do you know
mate.
what I mean?
No, I'm going to be about. I was just talking to Charlotte before we started the recording. Actually, I'm going to be here setting up, doing more podcasts, more videos, more recordings for the foreseeable, and I'm very excited to be getting back into it. I think.
Can't wait to have you back around, Mr.
Yeah,
Leader.
my trip did me a lot of good, and I'm ready to get stuck back in and make a lot of good stuff.
Absolutely fantastic, mate. So Charlie's back in town, which means the show's going to roll on.
Fantastic.
Charlotte, you got the summer ahead.
Yeah.
You're going to do more stuff with Foyne Jones?
Definitely, and also go on a few holidays.
Oh,
I'm looking
there
forward
you go.
to that.
You got one coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm going to Mallorca in May with some of my friends. So
There you go.
that'll be fun.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And some projects with Luke and the wonderful team
Yes.
with Hugo Roy.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm excited for that.
All right,
so,
good.
yeah.
Charlotte's been like she's been like a breath of fresh air for the team at Foyne Jones, and you know, one of the things I'm most proud of is you've encouraged people that were nervous about putting themselves
I was
out
telling
there
Charlie about that actually.
to get in front of the camera and do videos, and that to me, I couldn't make that happen.
No.
You know, apparently screaming and shouting doesn't work. Do you know what
No,
I mean?
it doesn't.
You know, bribery didn't work either. So
Yeah.
it needed a bit of magic from someone with the right enthusiasm and approach. And again, you know, we talk about services that we can offer through Foyne Jones and Hugo Roy. Everyone right now is talking about personal branding. Everyone now is talking about who knows you rather than who you know. There are so many businesses in our industry, Luke, who are like the best kept secret. And with the right presence, with the right branding, with the right marketing, and with the right PR and storytelling, that's what I'm all about, is storytelling, we can offer something very special, and that's going to be coming soon with Foyne Jones and Hugo Roy as well. So fantastic episode to get us back in the studio. One thing I wanted to talk about is we are in Mental Health Awareness Month and Mental Health Awareness Week. It's okay to not feel okay, and I want to send that message out, because I have a bit of a problem with it being a month or a week or a day, because I think it should be in everyone's conversation all the time. Sadly and tragically, 18 people in the UK, our mums, our dads, our brothers, our sisters, our friends, our family, our loved ones, lose their life every day to suicide. That's not okay. And for people like me, not quite you yet, Luke, but I'm going to bring you in it. And you know this from the work you're doing with the fellas at the football. Suicide is the biggest killer of middle-aged men. Still is. So that's something we've got to make more normal for people to talk about it, and to get this message out there. So this month, I've been dragging my 50-year-old body across some fundraising. I'm running 5K a day in May for the fantastic charity, and I've worked with them before, the Campaign Against Living Miserably, Calm. So my 5K a day for Calm is going very well. I'm on, let's have a check, I'm running 15, run number 15 today. I even squeezed the one in yesterday before we met for a beer, Luke, didn't I?
Yeah.
I sent you a picture, I said, I'm absolutely out of it, man, but I'll be with you in an hour. But I set an initial fundraising target of £500. I've beaten that. I've set a new target of £1,000. I'm on 875. If anyone can donate or support Calm, please do. Just a £5, the price of a beer. A £5 will make a difference, and it could potentially help us save someone's life. So that's how we're ending the show. Luke, you're heading, fingers crossed, charging anxiety permitting, you're heading back up to the Midlands, aren't you?
I am, yeah. If I can find a station that, we've found one now.
Well, we've been multitasking. You know, we've walked into the studio very calm, but the anxiety levels beforehand were off the Richter scale, mate.
We're crazy.
Off the Richter scale. Apparently, good people at Brighton, you need to get your charging points working, because this fella's had some problems today. But it's been great to have you down. I'm looking forward to what you're going to build with Hugo Roy, because that's important for me, is to help and support and advise you for the business to go well. But equally, we can bring you in and work with as Foyne Jones as a partner as well. We are going to have some fun in the Midlands. We're going to have some fun in our industry. Thank you so much. Hula, always a pleasure.
Always a
Poor
joy.
old Arsenal. We're proud to say that name, mate. And Charlotte, do you want to come again?
Of course I do.
Yeah, all right. So I think we'll get Charlotte involved in as many episodes as we can. I want you to get creative as much as you can with the content as well. That brings us to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We are back, season 9 of the Foyne Jones Show. We're building success, and we can't do it without our wonderful listeners and our connections. So thank you so much. A big shout out to David Blitz and ET Clay Products. He's really a Leyton Orient fan, and do you know what? He's going to Wembley.
Going to Wembley.
There you go, mate. Que sera, sera. That's the end of the podcast.